Hey guys, it's me. Welcome back. It's day 3. It's Friday. Got my Hackett shirt on. Um, and it's good to see you again. So I'm getting a little better, I think, at this. Let's see how it goes. So here's today's agenda. Nope. Nope. That way. Okay, so for today, I want to talk to you a little bit about some homework policy updates that came out of the district. I gave you guys a due date for homework. We're going to talk about that. We're going to go over the questions today. So if you didn't get any of the answers, we'll go through the rationale for those. Then we're going to play a game. We're going to play the unknown sounds game, okay? And then I will share with you the agenda for next week, as well as an extra assignment, another assignment I'd like you to try, okay? So here we go. First, let's talk about the homework update. So I will share the stats with you. There we go. So I assigned the wave questions from the book, and I gave the physical book out. It's come to my understanding now that if you were in Miss Nova's class on Fridays afternoon, you may have missed out on getting the book and getting the assignment. So I did post everything that you needed to answer the questions in the Google Drive, and so far, as of earlier today, I have 42 assignments out of 112 students, and that's not even everybody because I still don't have everyone in the Google Drive. So this weekend, I'll be backtracking through the Google Drive to see who's missing and adding you from my end using school tools, and maybe I will start calling some of you. So here's the deal. The district has told me that I can't penalize you for not handing in the work. Not everybody's got access. Not everybody can get into the things they need to get into, depending where you're staying and what devices you have. So I am going to lift the due date. Actually, I'm technically going to lift the due date on the assignment. So in the computer, the assignment will still show the due date. And then shortly after that date, I will enter a grade for students that completed the work. But I will not be entering zeros for students that did not complete the work on time. And that's the way it's going to go until I get more direction from the district on how they want to handle that. But that's how we're going to do it right now. So if you go on the Google Drive and it says that you're late, work on it anyway, and I will give you credit for getting it done whenever. And if you choose not to do it, I will not be putting a 0 in. But, obviously I'd like to get you to do it. I'm not like trying to give you anything overly difficult or overly time consuming. And just like we do in class, I'm going to do my best to make it as engaging and fun for you as possible. All right. So if you did it, I will be putting a grade in, and you'll get a message back on the Google telling you that it got graded and shooting it back to you. So that's number 1. All right. So today I want to go over the questions themselves, and let's talk about how we get the right answers. Okay. So let's go all the way up to the top. So question 1 asked, a vacuum is completely empty. Why is the space around you not considered a vacuum? And barring any in-depth discussion about physics and particles and fluctuations and existing and not existing and Heisenberg's uncertainty principle, it's safe to say I know the space around me is not considered a vacuum because the space around me is filled with gas, right? Watch. You feel that? Okay, so simple answer. It's not a vacuum. There's air in the space around me, and there is also stuff around me, right? Okay. Question from page 7. The question from page 7 was, what is the main difference between a surface wave and a longitudinal wave? So if I go back in the text and I read about longitudinal waves, and I'm not going to read this to you, but I know that if I scan it, I see this word particles, right? And I see that it says, while it reviews what a longitudinal wave is, and that is a disturbance that creates a wave that's traveling parallel to the disturbance itself. That's why if I take this slinky and I push like this, the energy will travel down this slinky in the same way, right? So if I'm pushing my slinky, it's traveling to you, okay? Parallel disturbance to direction of travel. And you drew a diagram of that back in your notebook back in the day when we were all together. So that's number one. That's what that says. And then it says, while the wave travels, the spring particles do not move all the way. I'm going to try to follow the direction in the picture, all the way to the right, like the wave does, right? So we know that the disturbance occurs and the energy begins to travel in that direction, but the whole slinky doesn't travel away, right? What you see is this, okay? So I'm going to demonstrate it for you. You ready? Watch this. The direction of disturbance, the direction of travel. I'm a particle. I go like this. Back in the 80s, there was a song called Walk Like an Egyptian. That's what it reminds me of. Okay, so particles like that, right? That's longitudinal wave. Now, in a surface wave, which is a combination of a compression wave, a longitudinal wave, at the same time as a transverse wave, a wavy wave, what happens is when a wave passes through water, the water and anything on it vibrates up and down. Wait, that didn't work. Right. And the water also moves back and forth slightly in the direction the wave is traveling. So you ready? Let's go this way. So not only am I going up and down, I'm also going back and forth. And the result is this. So now, instead of just traveling like this, I'm going like this in a circle. Okay? So what's the main difference between a surface wave and a longitudinal wave? Particles in a surface wave are going up and down at the same time as they are going back and forth. Think carousel horse, right? While particles in a longitudinal wave are simply going back and forth. So that's the main difference. All right. How can I measure the wavelength? Next question. How can I measure the wavelength of a longitudinal wave? And I gave you this nifty picture that I stole off the internet, but I drew one for you. Okay. Longitudinal wave is a compression wave. So I have drawn a picture for you. Brace yourself. It's not horrible. Okay. Yeah. So there is my longitudinal wave, and I have labeled the rarefactions, right? Peak energy with the compression and the compressions. And I've also labeled, the cycle for you, right? So in a transverse wave where we're going up and down, that's one cycle. One cycle. I'll do it smaller. One cycle, two cycles, three cycles, right? So with this, it's the same thing. If I start on a point on the wave cycle and I move or I measure the distance to the exact same point on the very next cycle, I have measured the wavelength. So what you want to say is, how can I measure the wavelength of a longitudinal wave? Same way as a transverse wave. Start on a point in a cycle and measure to the same exact point, the identical point on the very next cycle. Or if you remembered any of this information or looked it up, I would measure from compression to compression or rarefaction to rarefaction. Okay? Okay, let's go over the math question. I don't know why everybody had a hard time with this one, but I'll walk you through it. A sound wave frequency is 4 hertz. and its wavelength is 8 meters. What is the wave speed? So I gave you a hint. Hertz is cycles per second because we have 4 hertz. We have 4 cycles going by a fixed point in a second. 4 times. I did it. I went 5. Let's do it again. Okay, 4 cycles in a second. And then I gave you a second hint. A second hint that a wavelength is the length of a cycle. And I know that's 8 meters because it says it right there. So if 4 hertz go by in a second, and each cycle, 4 cycles per second, each cycle is 8 meters, all that means is 4 cycles equals 4 times 8 meters, or 32 meters in all passing by per second. 32 meters per second. And since wave speed is a ratio showing the relationship between distance, meters, and time, seconds, the wave speed is simply 32 meters per second. Okay, 32 meters a second. That's how fast the wave is traveling. So I hope that helped with the questions. Yeah. So if you did it, you get a 10 out of 10, right? Okay, gonna play a game. It's Friday, right? So we are going to play the unknown sound game. Now there's a whole bunch of these on YouTube, and none of my stuff is loaded. All right, here we go. Guess the sound, okay? Whoa. Why? I don't want to watch a commercial. Sorry, guys. I did literally do this on purpose so that we wouldn't have to watch a commercial, and YouTube forced me to reload it. Just feeling chill. All right, here we go. If you like this and you want to play it all the time, you can subscribe to this guy. So the Guess the Sound videos have 20 videos on 20 sounds on them, but we're only going to play with 10. Okay, so I'm going to shrink myself so you can focus. Okay, here we go. What did you hear? I know what I heard. Okay, you ready? Here comes the answer. I was right. Okay, next sound. Did you hear what I heard? Yeah, that's what I heard. Ugh. Next sound. What do you think? Were you right? Oh, I know this sound. You know who you are. Throwing a marker. Stop. Ugh. It wasn't me. Oh, I think I got it. That's the sound. Okay, guys, just a couple more. Did you get it right? You should be hearing that sound a lot. I know this sound too. Oh, I know it. Ducks. Got any grapes? All right, guys. I hope you did your very, very best and you did really well on the unknown sounds. So between yesterday's story time and today's game, you should know what we're going to be talking about next week. Let's check the script. All right. So you have a little homework should you choose to do so. I, of course, advise that you do. All right, here we go. Let's go over it. What is happening? It's like the smartboard followed me home. All right, guys, here we go. So, no love. Talk about anticlimactic. All right, guys. So here's what I want. Since I can't literally assign you required homework, I will ask if you would like to engage in some audience participation. Yes, 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 yes. All you wrestling fans, I don't know if you watched, but I was watching some wrestling the other day and there were 0 humans in the audience and it was sad. Okay, here's your job to prepare for next week. I am asking you, yes, you 6th grade scientists, to make or build some type of noise making or musical instrument type thing out of stuff you already have in the house. Don't tell your parents that I told you to go anywhere and buy anything. We are social distancing. So please, just dredge up some stuff. Don't get in trouble for taking anything apart or taking something that doesn't belong to you. And let's make an instrument. Please note the disclaimer. Squeezing your little brother or sister until they scream is not acceptable for this assignment. It is something that you should be building with readily available inanimate household objects. So that's the challenge. And my hope is that we'll use them Tuesday. So here we go. This is what we're doing next week. I hope, guys, if everything goes according to plan, please know that I'm kind of in uncharted territory right now. And they're telling me not to do things, but there's not a whole lot of what to do. So we'll see how it goes, right? Monday, I'm going to see if I can teach you guys how to Zoom, and we'll see if there's enough people to warrant us using that application. So what Zoom is basically is like a big old group chat, except we get to see everybody's face on the screen like Brady Bunch style, right? And we can hold like a live class like that. So I was thinking if we learn how to Zoom and people make instruments, then you guys can all share your instruments in real time, right? So we'll see how that goes. So that means that Tuesday will be a very noisy day. On Wednesday and Thursday, I'm going to demonstrate some sound stations for you that we would have done in class, in lab. And I'm going to do my best to try and recreate them for you. And then maybe you can recreate them on your own at home if you have the stuff, right? And then on Friday, next Friday, we'll talk about what are those? And I'm not going to tell you any more about that because I kind of want it to be a surprise. So I hope everything went great. A lot more people watched the first video that we made and not so many the second. So please bring your friends. Let's get everybody on board. I know you guys want me to go live. I'm working on that. I'm just trying to see like what kind of tools I have if I do a live video. So I'm going to give you one more sound test. Are you ready? Don't look. See if you know what this is. Here we go. What? Hi guys. Sorry. It's me eating all my quarantine snacks. All right. I'll see you guys Monday. I really do miss most of you.